Officiating in sports, one of the most hated things. And it seems like it keeps getting worse every year or as time goes on. No matter what sport it is, you're always hearing about it. NHL, NFL, college, basketball, yada, yada, yada. All that going on. I'm talking about how bad the calls are or how bad the refs themselves are. Why have we gotten to this point? Well, it's important to note that at the officials that take the field hold of question and are human just like everyone else. They are bound to make mistakes. eh, But that said, it's been getting out of hand lately. So I'm here to answer why officiating in sports suck. Uh, So there are several reasons as to why this is. It is not just one thing in particular. And we're going to go through some of the articles and see what they're stating based on the time they've been written. NHL officiating article here stated December of 2021. One, and they stated how hard it is to officiate, which is true. They're always under pressure to make the right calls all the time. They mention the rule book and managing, as well as other factors. French English divide. This is a problem specifically for the NHL, which isn't as big of a problem. And they state, hey, what the NHL should do and stuff, and whatever. Let's take a look at the NFL thing and see what they have. Challenge system and booth reviews, one thing. Ref gambling, games are less frequent. Talent evaluation, training, no immediate stuff, conspiracy, goofy rules, money, not full time. Time is what they're saying in this article here. Here, I'm trying to find general consensus. This is back in 2010, and a lot has changed between then and now. And at least the NFL gave us some memorable refs that are still going strong outside of their careers. Gene Steratore also did some basketball officiating, believe it or not. So he was a workhorse, whereas when he was active, if he's now a rules analyst with CBS, he's so I'm sure he's still pretty liked. Right. So there's that. We also got uh, over explanation Ed, and more recently there was the first ever ref to enter the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And probably because they set a new standard or something. College tournament, and this is probably most likely the basketball. Yeah, basketball. Dated just last year. And they go into detail about stuff. Uh, so now basketball dated just last year as well. Oh, they're sharing their thoughts. So, what is consistent between all these articles? They mention how hard it is for them to officiate games, which, as I already stated, they are human. They are bound to make mistakes. They also mention a lack of training, which means that they're not being properly trained. and to do their job. Another thing that is mentioned is the rule book. Keeping the rule book as simple as possible for the officials makes it easier for them to make calls. Keeping things vague or complicated isn't going to help. More recently in the NFL, we've seen calls like you breathe on the quarterback, that's roughing the passer, or for no reason. And like, really? Really? Sorry about that. Eh, haven't been feeling too well, but I'm getting better. But anyways, is there are several things. They're not full time because sports only last for a certain period of time. The NFL runs in the fall, ends at the start of February. The basketball, hockey, they start in October, end about May, June. Baseball runs from about March, April to October, November. And a lot of the same schedules apply to college, except they function within a given school year. They're, and even though they're not full time employees, as a result of there being a number of games where they failed to improve, uh, there are solutions, which I'll get into in a moment. And so what can be actually done? Well, in some of the sports, I would offer one solution, and that seems to work. Like how in the XFL, they finished up their first season back under Dwayne Johnson and as the owner, or well, portion of the ownership group, but they have a bit of a sky judge who is really just as the main head of officiating himself, but he's still a sky judge. He can initiate the review at any time, determine whether or not the call stands, as long as it's before the next legal snap. And it works. First, mainly because as they only have one game at a time, but having a sky judge assigned to specific games can help instead of having the one guy, right, doing all the active games. It can work when done correctly. Only problem, the NFL doesn't know how. They refuse to innovate on certain things. That said, we can offer more solutions to other stuff, such as making it more clear as to what constitutes a foul in these leagues. What constitutes that? Make it more clear what tripping is for hockey. Make it more clear what's roughing the passer. Or just tell us as why I, it could have been a penalty, and maybe we can then improve from there. Just improve it. Make the rule book simpler for the refs. Give them proper training. And another thing that can help for those that aren't full time, give them the opportunity to, to train in between games that they're set to officiate in the case of the NFL and in the gridiron in general. Also, that way they can use the time in between games or in between weeks in the NFL to improve on their officiating. There's another solution right there. The thing is, we need officials in these sports to help keep the game rather or intriguing and make sure rules are being followed. Without refs, we may as well not have sports at all. Oh, because there's got to be rules. Somebody's got to enforce rules one way or another. But by providing solutions, things that can work, or if done right, can indeed improve quality. Also, avoiding being biased is another good way to avoid it. We're not trying to avoid making mistakes. We're just trying to mitigate them by providing solutions. They're still going to make their fair share of mistakes, but if we provide solutions and they work, that can help mitigate them. That's all we're trying to do here. That's all we're trying to do. And if they do something wrong that is a mistake, let the official know and tell them that, hey, this is a weak spot of yours. You should improve on it. Or will start delivering out some form of punishment and for being inconsistent with this kind of call too much or something. And also make sure that if in the event that there are multiple languages being carried out, that there is an easy way to translate it. That can help further mitigate issues. Is as stated in this part from this NHL article. Well, so there are solutions we can bring forth. However, for the leagues are going to be too stubborn to even carry them out. It's going to come down to pressure or an actual result of people not even tuning in as much for stuff like that to go through. Is it going to happen in right away? No. It's going to take a long time. Oh, sorry. Sorry. It's going to take a long time for these solutions to even be provided it- at the first given moment. And until those days come, we're just stuck with what we're at. We're gonna be stuck with horrible calls with nothing done about them. All they can make it more complicated all they want. It's not going to change how good the raps are. All it's going to do is create more problems that will have to be fixed the hard way at some point in the future. Whether it happens now or later comes down to how the league handles it. So thank you all so much for tuning in. And this is not what I had planned to do, but given some recent controversies, I figure I have to do it. I also plan on doing a bit of a hold on. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember what I was going to say. A sorry. still trying to get over it. Yeah, I am going to be doing a bit of a Twitch career during the coming days. I will not disclose when it will start, but you will know if you can follow me on Twitter. Also, if you like this video and want to see more, or be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more. Or I'm hoping to get back into regular uploads. Those and I got a surprise coming in the future. Stay tuned for that. For now, until next time, hope you enjoyed.